redneck bullies are the worst though, because they've all got vehicles. All right, they're manlier men. Rednecks, they really are. They've lived a hardier lifestyle than city folk bullies, and they mature more quickly. They're an ornery bunch. It's hard to deal with the red.
They're getting.
Yeah, they're very tanned. Yeah,
sun kissed.
That doesn't really play into it much, though. I'm not sure why you went there. there's no like tanned related bullying.
Taylor's getting into these like fantasy scenarios.
They got those knotted muscles all over from hauling hay.
That big southern strength.
Wife
got that chaw right there in the lip. Let you know.
Would you do you ever throw
cut
a
off
dip
jeans?
Yeah, they're wearing cut off jeans real high for mobility.
You get down low with those.
A working man.
I make my own.
Did you ever put in a dip, Kyle, to fit in more with the people?
Oh yeah, like I remember specifically went over to in shop class we built a go-kart. No engine. It was just because we knew where a huge hill was. We were going to coast it down the hill. And we built this thing from scratch. We had wheels and a steering wheel, and we built everything else. Welded this thing together, sheet metal and shit. It was a real death trap. And we went to maybe 8 of us over at this guy's house, hauling up the hill and coasting it down, and twisting the wheel so you'd slide to a stop and shit like that, having a good time on it. And then somebody brought out some wintergreen fucking
some grizzly.
Some wintergreen grizzly or some shit like that. And everybody's getting some. I'm like, give me some of that. And I generally wanted some. And it was just, I remember I could feel it like scarred the inside of my lip, and I could feel the rough part there for a decade, where it made the inside of my lip like rough and a little bit like a different texture. And every time I've ever dipped, I've done it maybe 3-4 times in my entire life. I've always gotten sick. It's like, this is so much nicotine. It's just an incredible amount of nicotine. And this is coming from somebody who used to like abuse nicotine vapes to suppress hunger and fucking just pound cigarettes at times in my life. Like I've chain smoked, like lit one with the next one and been like puffing through them, stressed out. Nothing like a dip. A dip is like mainlining nicotine. It's like such a huge pump. And it always would make me queasy and green, and I'd end up vomiting. And if you ever fuck up and swallow some of that spit, then you're just in a whole nother world of hurt. And then spit bottles are so disgusting. It's hard to pick up as a habit, honestly, because the spit bottle and the spitting is so nasty. And I get that people don't like the smell of ashtrays and cigarettes, but I bet you'd rather have a smoker. Would you rather have a smoker living in your house? Or this is a good one. Smoker lives in your house. He smokes in his bathroom with the vent on, and you occasionally have like a little smell of it.
Mm-hmm.
He smokes outside a lot, so you often get secondhand smoke, but that's it. The dipper leaves spit bottles. There's always a spit bottle present. He's always got a little, like one of these, and it's a quarter of the way full of brown, thick, mucusy tobacco spit. Always. And he leaves them about. Like there won't be 30 of them.
These are terrible roommates.
But if you came home, you would definitely
terrible roommates.
Honestly, I'm gonna have I can't even.
Cigarette man every time, and the fact it took you so long, like it is absurd. Let me tell you why. Let me give you a little story to change your mind. Let me bring you over to my side of the aisle.
Okay.
My uncle and my cousin always had chewed tobacco. My father has always kind of been on my side of this thing. If you want some nicotine, get a cigarette. Jesus, those things are disgusting. They would leave bottles like this lying around, sealed up. There was a hot summer day where my dad got into his truck and there was a Dr. Pepper bottle in there. Dr. Pepper's pretty dark, huh? Looks a lot like spit. Ooh. Spit looks a lot like Dr. Pepper. Hard to tell. Well, he grabbed it. He was very thirsty, even working hard. Maybe been on the tractor for an hour and a half. Parched. I don't care if that Dr. Pepper's hot. I need me a swig. He swallows it. Glug, glug, glug. Oh! And then he's vomiting, right? He's fucking. He had a rule from then on. No spit bottles, ever. Not at all. Yeah. Anywhere. Ever.
Only Sprite in the
walk
truck.
Out, swallow, or spit. But no bottles. We're not keeping containers of this shit around.
You're right. Like I totally get what you're saying. They're disgusting. those spit containers. If it was just a roommate who was smoking on my like back patio, but I don't want him in my fucking bathroom lighting. I got a visceral like stomach feeling when you were describing that, because I can remember so often like when we'd like throw parties and whatnot at my mom's house when we get back from college, or like at apartments or whatever wherever I was, and especially when it was my house, I wake up the next morning and I start cleaning, and there'd be like a dozen of these fucking spit bottles, and I remember like going being like, ugh. Ugh, like almost throwing up, just getting close to it, not even, and just getting a whiff of like wintergreen and knowing exactly what that was. It's as far as like being near someone, I would rather stand around 10,000 smokers than like 10 people spitting in cups around me. It's just less. And smoking, like my grandparents smoked in their house when we were kids.
Are they
like,
smoking?
Like my grandparents smoked cigarettes in the house when like we were young kids at their house. And so like I still think of cigarette smell as kind of a good smell. Like it reminds me of going to my grandparents.
It doesn't bother
as a
me
kid.
either.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all. If it were in my house, it would bother me because it'd be like, hey, now you're stinking up my shit.
We never smoked in the house. I don't like that. I would smoke in the house at my cousin's house. When we go over there, because I always thought that was such a luxury. It's so white trash, but like we'd be up late at night playing video games, like pounding through Halo 1's campaign, and man, we're just burning them down. The ashtray, I'm on this couch, he's on that couch, ashtrays on the floor, fucking laid back. We would get our snacks and everything, do a 12-hour fucking session. Those are some of my fondest video game memories. All offline. All offline, just me and him and his because he had the Xbox and I didn't have anything, and I would go and rent us a game every like Friday night or whatever, and we'd pound out the whole thing. And I sometimes I'd picked a good one, and sometimes I picked a real shitty fucking game, but we'd always like beat through the campaign. That's how I did all the Halo games. So when Halo 3 came out, I was so hyped. Like we had finished that fight like a year ago. It felt like
entertainment
started it.